Call the Glass Doctor, we'll fix your pain.
Glass Doctor is a proud supporter of Long Beach schools. Call Glass Doctor for all your home, auto, and business glass needs.
Call the Glass Doctor, we'll fix your pains. Oh yeah!
Want to make a difference? Help support Long Beach High School and head over to our community partner Winn-Dixie and purchase a reusable community bag. $1 from each bag purchased in the month of August goes to Long Beach High School. Thank you, Winn-Dixie, and thank you, Long Beach, for supporting our schools.
Do you know that as a Long Beach High School student, you are eligible for a membership at Keesler Federal Credit Union? Keesler Federal is more than a bank. It's a credit union and a not-for-profit financial cooperative. This means you share in the ownership. We work to help you prosper, not investors. Keesler Federal offers a wide variety of financial products and services, great rates and extra benefits, such as free checking and savings account, free online and mobile banking, and an annual savings contest. So come in with a parent and talk to one of our friendly team members about what Keesler Federal can do for you. When you join, you are a member for life, and we will be there for every step of your financial journey. Going the extra mile for our members since 1947, Keesler Federal Credit Union, where you are more than a customer, you are family.
Everybody, Tony McGill back here with the Bearcat Coaches Show. I'm here with Tim Delaney, our color commentator on the games, on our live broadcast, and of course, head football coach Jacob Massey. Coach, you're in your third year. Ready to go?
I am ready to go. I'm excited about this group. You know, we're right in the middle of fall camp. Put the pads on Monday. We've been going in shells. Monday and Tuesday, finished up last night about 9:30. So we kind of came in on, about 4 or 5 hours of sleep this morning. So kids are kind of wore out, coaches are wore out, but I don't think there has been this much excitement around, our football program in a very long time. So I'm really excited about the group that we got. We got kids that are going to contribute from 9th grade all the way to 12th grade. So, that's the biggest thing is, we've got some kids that I think is going to help us win some football games. And, anytime you can go out there and coach these kids up and then see them develop and see their growth, that's the biggest part of coaching. That's probably the biggest fulfillment from that.
Well, having to practice at night right now because of the heat, because of the weather, and I think there's a little bit more excitement when you're practicing at night and you're under the lights and the kids respond.
The kids love it. Yeah, the kids do love it.
We had a nice little shower yesterday, kind of cooled things down a little bit. Kind of probably had to help you a little.
They have a little bit more giddy up in their step, when we practice at night rather than going, at 3:30 in the afternoon, just for the simple fact that the sun's not beating down on you. And the kids love the Friday night feel of turning the lights on, playing on our game
got
field.
The music going,
got the music going.
Atmosphere's there, and parents show up when it's that late. Mentioned to you a while ago, but I wanted to say this. I've got a few things that I want to talk about, and I'm kind of going to turn it over to you and Coach Delaney with the X's and O's. I said a long time ago, football hadn't left me, but it's a little bit more complicated when I was.
It's a couple of yards ahead of you.
It's a little bit ahead of me, and I enjoy that part of our shows. That I enjoyed it last year, so I'll turn it over to y'all. But had a parent call me, and I'm in front of the middle school, headed this way, and just about to pull into the stadium, and just all excited about practice. Saw his first practice. His son comes home and he didn't shut up about the practice, and he's a lineman. Yeah. It's easy for a
skilled
person
sure.
or a guy. I caught passes. I did this. I tiptoed on the line. Made a diving catch. But when you have a lineman and he's talking about Coach Finley, our offensive line coach, and he's just fired up.
Push the sled.
Yeah. He said we didn't stop. Everybody, it was just high energy and the kid never talks, and he said didn't shut up for an hour, and he said he was real, but he wanted me to know that, and that's kind of good. Okay, what one thing I want to talk about again is our schedule. We're coming up this Saturday night. We'll do Meet the Team, which is August 17th, and have a little scrimmage. There'll be some referees there. It'll be controlled, and that'll be fun. That begins at 6 o'clock, I think you said, right?
Yeah, we'll have pictures at 5, the team pictures, media day type deal at 5 o'clock, and then we've got a referee crew coming in around 6. We'll get them loose, try to get started around 6:15, just depending on. It's going to be a laid back atmosphere as far as, we're going to try to get as close to a Friday night, itinerary as possible, but.
Right.
It will be, more laid back because we won't have an opponent coming in, but it'll be a good chance for our kids to get into a pregame routine because we still
Right.
got to teach those ninth graders how we operate, and as well as I do, you got to teach all that.
The little
stuff.
things
So
are important.
They are. So
Little things are very important.
the last thing that I want us to do is run out there against Greene County or past Christian, and we've got a bunch of 14-year-old kids that don't know where to go, don't
Mass
know where to
confusion,
line up.
yeah.
So we'll put them through a pregame routine, and then we'll put the ball down and we'll scrimmage a little bit.
Excited. I'm really fired up about it. The following week, now that's on the Saturday, August 17th, and the following week on a Friday night we'll play Greene County in our first jamboree. So again, officials will be there, and it'll be a game.
Yeah.
And it's good for us because we have Bill Hertzall coming in. It's going to be the public address. He hadn't done it before. Done a lot of baseball. Runs our youth basketball league. So we're going to incorporate him this year on our staff. Anthony Vancourt will spot for me and.
Whole program's growing, Tony.
Yeah, it is growing. And if you were in the press box, I'm going to get a shot of that one time, Kenny. The setup that we have, because we have 4 monitors. I don't even know if you know that, Coach, but we have 4 monitors. We can see our commercials, our promos, and see all that while we're doing a ball game. And we can actually sometimes look back up at the promo or at the monitor and see a replay if we want to. And a lot of times that'll make the referees to the left of us, the clock operators, a little upset because we know I get a little upset on missed calls, and not as bad as I used to be, but we still have a lot of fun with it. But we also slip them a cold drink and maybe a little snack up there to make them happy.
You like their hot dogs.
Yeah.
It's about as professional as you can get up
You
there.
can't.
If you're
It's
looking over,
college
you would think,
atmosphere.
yeah.
It really is. People come in and
think
it
it's
just
big
blows
time.
them away. When did this happen? And we've got tripods in front of. We watch ball games looking through monitors and tripods and computers and laptops. So it's high tech, and that's all Kenny Triplett. So it's a lot of fun. So. Again, before the show, I watched our show last week, and before the show, I promised these 2 guys I'd shut up for 5 minutes, and I had to shut up. So anyway, tough schedule.
Yeah.
I just want to recap what we talked about last week. Number 3 team in the state's Picayune in our division. And I kept saying 7A on the show last week. We were in 6A.
Yeah.
And you corrected me without correcting me. So Picayune's number 3, George County's number 5, Hancock's number 10, 9, Pascagoula's number 10, and if you drop, that's the top 10 in the state. 4 of the top 6 division or 5 division games is against top 4 in the state, top 10 in the state, and then you drop down to top 20, number 17, West Harrison's number 17. So anyway, I've got that all messed up, but you get the gist of it.
Yeah.
We have a tough schedule, and you didn't make it any easier when you did our pregame. You like to play the good teams and play them hard.
Well, you want to see where you're at. That's the biggest thing. Where are your deficiencies? Where are your strengths? Where are your weaknesses? And you can't do that without playing really good competition. And there's not a week off. There's not a game on our schedule that you say, hey, this is a guaranteed win. And but you have to play those games in order to get your kids ready for what is to come in the division. I think George County and Picayune are probably going to be the bell cows in our division, but I also think they're probably going to be the bell cows in South State, if not the entire state, 6A. It's not going to be surprising to me wherever they're having the state champions this year if Picayune or George County is holding up a green ball or a gold ball at the end of all this. They have the talent to do it.
Right.
Is what I'm saying. You still have West Jones.
I mentioned that last week, and that's probably jumping the gun with some of the teams that we're playing. But just about any one of them can hold up that goal ball.
But you know, like you still got Pascagoula in there, and they are having, they've got their free safety that tackled Will on the goal line when we had a chance to win that ball game last year. He got an offer from Ole Miss back in the summer, so you know they've got kids littered all across the field. The quarterback is a Southern Miss commit. You know, I think he's a really good football player. I think he's neck and neck with Deuce right now, who's committed to Notre Dame. So
Deuce is at Georgia County.
Your top three right there could really make a run in the playoffs before it's all said and done.
You got SEC players on your team. You should be winning.
No doubt.
Yeah. Well, it'll be fun. We always do a good crowd. I talk about it. I don't think I've ever had a broadcast I don't talk about Bearcat fans, and we've got the best fans. We have the best leadership. Dr. Locke is our superintendent, and she'll come right up there to the press box and. You want me to make an announcement? You want to make it? That's up to you. You my boss. So we love Dr. Locke and our Shane Rutledge, our athletic director, and so we're just in a good situation right now. And you know, for 5 or 6 years it was tough down here, you know, and a lot of people backed off, but people are piling in. They brought into your program. You brought the excitement back, and we're fired up and ready to go. Okay, recap. August 17th, this Saturday night, the meet the team. The next Friday night, Greene County in a jamboree, and then we open up the Oyster Bowl. You know, and that opens. We start the Oyster Bowl with a breakfast at one of the local restaurants, and the superintendents meet, and the principals, athletic directors, and the coaches, and the one announcer.
Big media production.
Big media production. It is. Kenny brings the cameras, and we show all that.
Well, I'll say this.
It's big hypes and little
I've coached
fun bits.
in Northwest Mississippi. I've coached in Northeast Mississippi. I've coached at Petal, you know, in South Mississippi, and I've never heard of people doing that. You know, having a breakfast before a big rivalry game. I wish more people would do that. I think it's a really good opportunity to get up there.
I love
it. You know, and talk about our prospective programs, because you got two right next to each other that I would say are friendly rivals. You know, they compete in everything from academics to athletics, and you know, for all of us to be able to come. I think that's what public education is all about. You know, being able to come and fellowship and you know, talk with each other, share ideas, and you know, talk about our kids, which is what we're here for.
That's good. Coach Delaney, what do you have?
We're going to talk a little bit about summer and how summer's going, etc. But I'm going to start with this. You've been here this year 3.
Yep.
You started in a really deep hole. It took you 2 years to get these kids football ready. That is, teaching them the fundamentals of football, which you've done a great job. They just didn't realize that it was going to take that long. But year 3, and I know you're going to talk more about this, now you can teach the intricacies of actual football, because it certainly is a position-specific game. And now you got a chance that the kids can block, tackle, they understand your system. You can now take it that next step and teach them actually the intricacies of nothing else about football. So in general, tell us about how the team's going, and then, you know, pick out a few kids that are standing out from at any level, not just 12th graders, because I know you got an 11th grader that can play, but the young kids too that are standing out that are going to help you.
You know, speaking to that, I think the biggest thing in how this program has changed is the expectations. Our kids know what to expect going into this fall camp, so they know that we're going to have to be physical because of who we play. So you know, that's been the biggest thing, is to see that evolve over, you know, this is going to be my 3rd fall camp to go through, and you know, our kids know what to expect. You know, in the past it's been whenever we go and do our hitting and tackling drills, you know, we call, you know, one of our deals is machine gun, and you know, all the kids go, oh, we got to do machine gun. Well, like Monday and Tuesday when we did that, you didn't hear any complaining. Kids were hopping up, you know, jumping up. So that speaks to, you know, kind of where our program is. And I think you had to start out with, you know, changing the work ethic. And I think that that's night and day from where it was. So the expectations of what we expect as coaches has changed. The kids know that. They know where to go. They know where to line up. And what's huge about that is our young kids, you know, our 9th and 10th graders, they're seeing how we want it done, and we're really not saying anything. It's
They'll pick it up just like that.
Yeah, and that has been a seamless transition, which has been really good. So, you know, I think that's the biggest thing is moving forward, is just our kids have experience, you know, and that's huge. You know, I think the biggest thing from last year to this year, you know, we put in a new offense, and Will at times struggled with grasping on what to do, and I think another year. We really didn't change much offensively, and you can see that he's grown. He has had a phenomenal summer. He's had a phenomenal fall camp. We were watching the film last night at 10 o'clock before we left here, and his decision making has been huge. And you know as well as I do, when you're running the triple, decision making is everything. So I've been really impressed with his growth and his maturity from his junior year to his senior year. Our offensive line is intact from last year. We only lost our senior center Peanut, but Hayden Gregg has kind of stepped up. And funny story about Hayden, we had not this spring, but the spring before, we had an open tryout, any kid that wanted to come play, and I think his family had moved in from Arizona or Georgia or somewhere, and he wanted to come out and try out for football. Well, he was one of the kids that we identified as like, hey, we want him to be on our football team. And he has grown a whole lot. I don't know how much football he played before he came to Long Beach, but he's just a hard-working, hard-nosed kid. So Peanut was great. He was a 4-year starter.
Sure.
He knew a lot of football, but I think Gregg has a chance to maybe even be a little bit better than Peanut. So we're really excited about him. Of course, all of our skill positions. You got S.J. Valentine at wideout.
You're pretty solid there.
I think so. For what we do on offense, yes. We've got 3 guys that we're going to lean heavily on: Jaden Scott, S.J. Valentine, and Andre Wyndham. And they're going to kind of do a lot for us. Not just in the passing game, but the running game as well. Of course, Junior Brown. I think he was a 1,500 yard rusher in like 8 games last year. Had 20-something touchdowns. He's coming back. Moved Rashad Foxworth in the backfield. He's had a tremendous summer. We kind of moved him. We had him at wideout, but with Taj kind of going through his ACL rehab and whatnot, we wanted to build a little depth there.
Sure.
So we put him there, and he's looked really good. And then we've got 2 really young kids that look really promising. Rashad's brother, Dylon Foxworth, he has looked good. He also looks the part. He looks really good in pads.
He's a sophomore?
He's going to be a freshman.
A freshman, okay. I was thinking that.
Yep.
But
And then Tyron Johnson, he's another kid that has been impressive. He's going to get a lot of snaps on the defensive side of the ball, but he's also going to tote it for us. We're going to give them, most of the JV reps, kind of see where they're at, and then, as they kind of feel comfortable in those JV games, they're probably going to tote the ball on Friday nights as well. Defensively, we just didn't lose a whole lot, so we brought back, a ton of guys. Jack Foreman is going to play everywhere on the defensive line for us. He's quick. He comes off the ball. He's a tough kid. And then we've got 3 sophomores that we're going to start at linebacker. Landon Thode has come a long way. Tim West is kind of the quarterback of our defense. He's playing Mike linebacker, and he's very vocal. He gets the calls in. He gets everybody lined up.
That's good.
Which is huge.
Those are those intricacies we're talking about.
And like he has a little bit of the it factor. Where he lacks in athletic ability, he makes up for. He's very cerebral. He knows he can identify formations. He can identify tendencies. We only have to tell him one time. So, if we see something like, they line up in this formation, they're 90% run to the right here, and then he'll call it out. He's like, they're running the football right here. So we're really excited about him. Gavin Sutherland is another young kid that we're excited about, and he's been really good. Secondary is pretty much intact. The only kind of, I guess you would say, newcomer would be Jackson Gurman, and he has been unbelievable. Moved him over to corner. He had a phenomenal offseason, and I think that gave him the confidence to say, hey, I can go in here and I can compete and I can earn me a spot, and he's going to be, one of our best.
Put your best 22 on the field.
And the biggest thing that we saw with him in the spring game is he'd come up and make a tackle, and
Jackson's a tough kid.
He
wants to be in the middle of it.
That's a unique a corner that can tackle is like having gold.
That's right.
So not only does he do a good job, he's a good athlete. But he can cover, but he's not afraid to come up and stick his nose in it. And then we got SJ will be playing defense as well. We just don't have the luxury at this moment. We're a little bit better. We're not going to have to play 11. The same.
That was my next question.
We're not going to have to play.
How many are going all the way?
We're going to probably have 6 to 7 kids going both ways. But you remember last year we had 11 kids that, you
If
know.
you're a conditioning program, I don't see where that's a problem.
Then that was another thing. We
I mean,
really,
they're in shape. They're ready to play football.
we really, you know, it's going to be curious. Like Monday, I was a little concerned. We had kids dragging after we did team defense and into team offense. But you look at what the temperature was on Monday, and you know, I'm trying to be realistic about it. I was a little discouraged about it, but we're not going to be playing a football game at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. You know, it's going to be 7 o'clock. So last night, it really, after having a day in pads and getting beat on a little bit, I felt a lot better last night. We ran 24 plays on offense, we ran 20 plays on defense, and we didn't have kids, you know, folding over. So they were able to kind of go through that and made me feel a little bit better about that. You know, and I think those ninth graders, there's several of those kids that I think are really going to contribute on the special teams to where those guys can, you know, get a breather here and there. So I'm really excited about where we are as far as our depth is concerned. And, you know, we still have some of those guys that are providing depth. They haven't played any high school football, but the way they look in fall camp right now, I think that they're really going to help us at some point.
Work them in a little at a time.
Yeah, and that's what JV's for. And, you know, a lot of kids, they get discouraged when they have to play JV, but, you know, at the end of the day,
it snaps.
It is, yeah. You know,
snaps.
so the only way you're going to get better at a skill is by doing it. So,
And going both ways doesn't really hurt you early. Even if your kids are in shape, you know this.
Yeah.
It's the bumps and bruises 6 games down the line that's going to affect them, because no one is 100% except day one. After day one, nobody's 100% for the rest of the season. But by then, you'll have guys that are ready to fold
that's right.
in.
Yeah, and it's
They
going
can
to take
give
us.
them a break.
It's going to take us a few games. That's why I wish we played more than just one jamboree or scrimmage. Because the only way you're going to get in shape is to play in shape.
Yeah.
You know, we can do all the running that we want. We've been doing county fair since the end of May. You know, and they've run a lot of sprints. They've done a lot of change of direction stuff. But at the end of the day, you're not going to get in
not
shape.
the same.
It's not. It's because
Not the same.
they're only going to give you 90 to 95%. But when you play in that football game, your life's on the line. Your
teammates are on the line. Yeah.
Like, you're going to exert more, and it's going to be more intense. So.
Every football player in practice knows this. I bet Tony was the worst of all. You save your energy in practice,
right.
so you got something at
That's
the
right.
end, because you don't want to be looking bad at the very
right.
end.
You
In
know
a
you're
game,
fixing
you
to
don't
get
do
it.
that.
That's right.
It's 100% from the first
That's right.
step.
Yeah, I was the worst. Yeah. Well, I got to smiling and giggling. It's going to show up on the show. But another parent told me last night, she said, "Look at this picture, Mr. Tony. Does this look like my son?" I don't want to mention names. She says, "Look at his body." She says, "I have never seen a transformation like I'm seeing." And he didn't have a shirt on. He had his helmet on, so you couldn't really see, but it was her son. And he just ripped. And you know, we talk about it, Coach Delaney and I, we walk about some of them kids. You tell Long Beach football player. I remember a coach told me one time, "You want to see somebody working hard in the locker room, look at their calves."
Yeah.
And that's where it, you know, and we kind of, I kind of watch it like that, and we laugh about it. But this young man is completely changed. They're different, and the kids are. I went out, stood on the sideline a couple nights ago, and around the kids that I watched grow up, kids that Coach Delaney and I coached, and they're just different people now. And it's fun and it's exciting, and I don't know why I felt like I had to bring that up, other than I was smiling, thinking about what she was saying. I didn't want to look like a big old dummy, you know. So I wanted to mention that people are seeing it and they're talking. It's fun to go down to awards and have breakfast, and the people talking about it, or up to Rusty Pelican, and people are talking about the football team, asking about the football team, and people are excited. It's going to be a good season. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I've never seen a strong guy that didn't have confidence.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Well, you know, the kids got a little taste. I know we only won 2 football games, but I was talking to some kids that don't play football in one of my classes, and, you know, they were like, "It's been 13 years since we made the playoffs." And, you know, the kids at the school who don't play football that just come watch us play, they were so excited about 2 wins last year, which is foreign to me. You know, I've coached at Amory, I've coached at Petal, at DeSoto Central. You know, we won a lot of ball games, and 2 is not the standard.
But it was exciting because, Coach, you were in every of them. I mean,
yeah, well,
you were
that's
in
what I was
all
gonna
of the
say.
games, and
There's
you know,
4 or 5
there's
football
that
games
tipping
that could have
point.
gone any.
Yeah, right.
You know, we were
the kids love that.
Yeah, we were 3 snaps away from being, you know, 5 and
In
6
the playoffs.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're right there on the edge of it. I'm excited to see what this season brings, and at the end of the day, we just got to go in there, play our game, not make very many mistakes, and just see where the chips fall.
Well, the atmosphere, everything's changing, and you could tell that. I don't remember Long Beach ever going to Southern Miss, a Division I football field, and playing. We've been there twice, and then you go to a large high school like Petal, and their stadium's just about the size of Southern Miss. And
Nicer.
I know that Kenny and I and you, and we're up in the press box, and this is a press box. I mean, they have caterers up there. We went to Gulf Coast Community College, and Chick-fil-A had a section over there where they cater for
It's a nice
Chick-fil-A.
facility.
So these kids have never seen anything like
Yeah.
that, and you've brought that to us, and so we're excited about that. We just keep on keeping them. We've got a great coaching staff. We're going to do some introductions. We're going to record them probably later this week, maybe early next week. We'll get the coaches in here after practice at night. They'll enjoy that.
Yeah, and then
practice until 9:30.
they're not going to like it. They don't like this type of stuff.
Right.
But let me tell you something. We couldn't do what we do without those 5 or 6 assistant
amazing!
coaches.
Amazing. You know how I feel about them.
I do, and they make my job so much easier, and I'm extremely grateful for the ones that we do have.
Bearcat fans, I've never saw, and I don't even want to mention it because I mention it all the time, but this is my 36th season
Wow.
of announcing football. Never seen what's happening here
You
right
started
now.
the year I was born because I'm going to turn 36 in December.
Got behind a car the other day, 20 mile an hour, passed it up. They get in the left lane in the turning lane, and I said, "Stinking 80 years old." And then I looked at my wife. I said, 10 years older than me. So I'm getting up there. So y'all be finding a replacement. So I want to sit in the end zone with
Say that every
Alex
year.
Brady and watch some football in the tailgate tents. Well, that's all. That's it for the show tonight. I hope that it was a little better. I didn't shut up too much, but I enjoyed. I love the atmosphere. I love what's coming up. Man, we've started. We're there Saturday night, and then Friday night the Jamboree, and then we open up against the Pastor Shan and the Oyster Bowl. So y'all all come out. Always travel with us. Tim Pearson, I talked about it the other day. He says, we mentioned our name. He says, we're going to have 40 people. We don't have to get a bus to go. I said, but that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
I want to do that. And then Tim Pierce is president of the school board. Tim Delaney and I, we all ride together. It's a blast. We have a good time. Stop somewhere and eat. Get on board. Follow us. If not, we'll get a bus. We'll figure it out. This is the Coaches Show, our Bearcat Football Coaches Show with head coach Jacob Massey and Tim Delaney. Thanks for tuning in. Go Bearcats.
Call the Glass Doctor, we'll fix your pain.
Glass Doctor is a proud supporter of Long Beach schools. Call Glass Doctor for all your home, auto, and business glass needs.
Call the Glass Doctor, we'll fix your pains. Oh, yeah.